I tell you what, this is what happens when you trust in technology. Technology will fail you every time when you least suspect it. And what ended up happening was I got an update, and when the update came through, um, it kicked us out. So we are going to
You're still
finish it
breaking
with
up a
this one,
little.
and huh?
I said
Yeah,
you
can you
still
hear
like
me?
going out in and out.
Okay, this thing got a mind of its own. Um, it got a mind of its own, so it's doing its own little thing, but it should be fixed. It got an update. I need to make sure I update my stuff going forward. I apologize about that. Um, Make sure that we don't have that problem again. Give everybody a minute to kind of get back up in here. Appreciate y'all for sticking around.
Yep.
Uh, Zenna to the Saints, sign me up. Here we go. All right,
Yep.
so yeah, I mean,
And
the
you know they
question
gonna
before.
make him look nice.
Hey, listen. The question before.
Hey, Sean Payton is all right. Let's focus on.
Yeah,
It.
the
You know
question
what I'm saying?
before we got the general review say legal hands to the face, right? Them phantom flags, man.
For
Them
real,
Back to
man.
phantom flags,
back too.
bro.
Deshaun
Back
Hands
to
to the
back.
Phantom Face.
Yeah, they know what
Man, I'm
time it
so
was,
glad that
man.
Sean had on.
But yeah, I mean, before we got interrupted, here's what happened. So, an update was needed, and the computer and the program did its job and did the update. So that's why you are seeing a different one right now because it needed to do an update, and it kicked us out for its update. So it sucks, it really does, but we still here. Now, okay. The question that we left off of is, who is to blame for this lack of red zone? And I simply said that we have to blame the head coach and offensive coordinator because we're not even utilizing all our weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a 6'7" tight end and not using him. We got a fast running back in Ty Johnson, not using him. But then they
Uh-huh.
turn around today and sign another running back as if the running back is the problem here.
That's
And
not the
so,
problem.
and it's not the problem. We got to utilize our weapons. It's the play calling. If you're not going to run it up the gut, okay, then we got a problem. And when I look at what's going on, they just not doing it. So it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it kind of threw me off a little bit. I believe I already asked you. So I believe I'm going to go over to Mike. Mike,
Yeah.
who's to blame for this offense,
Man,
not scoring in the red zone?
it starts top down. It starts with Matt Patricia, Coach Patricia. You have the talent on the offense. You got these tall receivers, tall tight ends. You got personnel. Why are you utilizing? Why aren't you schematically making sure that the offensive coordinator can get these players in position to make a touchdown, to get in the end zone? This went on last year with KFC.
Yep.
We could not score touchdowns.
In the red
And
zone.
what are you
Yep.
doing? Same old thing. How in the world do you got all these tall guys? The reason we got Jesse James, touchdown, tall. TJ Hawkinson, touchdown. When you got Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones Jr., come on now.
Yeah, we
Come
got
on.
some big
And
receivers.
the offensive line. What's going on with this offensive line? You can't open up nothing. You got to open up those holes for Kerryon Johnson. You got to make sure that you give your playmakers the ball. We have a speedy guy named Ty Johnson. Why ain't been used? Why, Coach? Micro Mike wants to know, why aren't they being used? I don't get it. Use your brain. Don't overthink it. You got the players. Put them in there. Look, I love seeing Matt Prater out there, but I don't want to see him when we could get touchdowns. So, Coach Patricia, I blame you. Fix this up so we can start winning some games and we don't have to worry about those refs.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it boils down to just that. It really boils down. Now, listen, here's what's funny. Marcus Willis says, I finally made it on time. You technically late because we started. Yeah, technically, we started and needed an update and it kicked us out. But you are on time for this one, so I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean, but you hit the nail on the head. We're not utilizing the weapons. We're not putting our players in the best position to win. And on top of doing all that, we're sitting back trying to figure out Like, how do we utilize these weapons? And then they go out and sign former Green Bay Packer running back Trey Carson off of waiver wires.
Right. And we didn't need him.
And release Paul Perkins. But what did you bring him in for if the game plan is going to be dive, zone up the middle? You have to start to utilize your weapons better. We get to the red zone, and the first thing we do is get cute.
What is it? What are we going to do with the running back? What do you could have Ezekiel Elliott, but if you have a wall there, he's just going to run into a wall. You got to open up that wall, put a door. We need the linemen to make the hole. I don't care who you get off the running backs, but the offensive line, you look at it. You ain't seeing the holes open. And if we can't run the ball, how are you going to win in this league? How are you going to win?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like we giving the players a pass. Players haven't been executing because how many times have we been about to score a touchdown and the offensive line penalty happened?
Facts.
Yeah, that happened at least the top 5 times on 5 separate touchdown drives that we turned into field goals. I can tell you from my memory this season. He was about to score a TD, penalty. Kerryon catching. Oh, I'm so upset with Kerryon these last 2 weeks. Kerryon is out here catching passes and then fumbling. So, and when you get in the red zone, TJ Hawkinson, probably the most short-haired guy on the team, is dropping passes. Marvin Jones open in the red zone, not catching the ball. And then my biggest gripe and my biggest problem, besides Daryl Bevel called it simple running these dives and stuff, the offensive line has not been run blocking.
Right.
They were better last year. I'm not going to lie. They were better last year at run blocking. So I don't know what's going on. I don't want to hear no excuses. They need to fix that because in the red zone, to me, it's the run blocking. That's the problem because Daryl Bevel, he has schemed up plenty of plays. We scored touchdowns, we like top 10 in red zone offense. I'm not saying we're great, but considering the offense is new and where we're going, we have to be better. But like Kerryon has 2 touchdowns and he should have 6. We have to be able to run the ball in, and that comes and it just seems like something always happens, whether it's a drop or it's a penalty or Kerryon having to fight for his life just to get in the freaking end zone because the run blocking isn't there at all. And I don't know why. But my main issue is with the players not executing. But after that, if Daryl Bevel don't start calling an outside run with Kerryon, I might lose my mind.
Because going up the middle, man, that's not working.
Tell him, J-Mo. Tell him.
But no, see, that's the thing with Kerryon. Though. Kerryon can do everything. He can go up the middle, but he's better outside. Imagine running Alvin Kamara up the middle 20 times. What are you doing? Running Christian McCaffrey up the middle 20 times.
And J-Mo, you know what's funny, man? If he only touched the ball 13 times. Out of the 13 times, they ran off tackle twice with him. Twice.
And I bet that means he got probably 5 or 6
yards. He got 8 yards, and on the first one, he got 8 yards, and on the second one, I think it was 6. Twice. Mm-hmm. Antoine say what happened? A update happened. One of the program and my computer had a update, and that kicked us off the first stream. So that's what it is. But and just so you know, for people whose funnel went in, we're not necessarily talking about the Green Bay game per se, but we're just talking about the Detroit Lions red zone offense as a whole. Yeah. Who do we blame for us not being able to score in the red zone? Because it's just not being effective in the way that it should be, and it's costing us games, But that brings me to that next question of who do we blame for this run game? Because we clearly keep going out getting different running backs. We clearly are trying to run the ball, but it's not working. So who do you blame for this run game? We thought it was you, J-Mo. Who do you blame for this run game?
Who do I blame for this run game?
Not being effective.
I mean, I can't just blame one person. I think it's a combination of 3 things: the running back, the O-line, and the OC.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I want. What would I want Matt Patricia to do differently? Like, the only thing he can do is tell him, if you don't run Kerryon outside, I'm gonna fire you. That's the only thing he can say. Other than that, the O-line hasn't been executing. Kerryon, I mean, that Green Bay game, that's one of the worst rushing games I've seen from Kerryon because he was running into balls. and like every time he had a hole, he would miss it. And he would run into the O lineman. That lets me know the chemistry isn't good. And it's about being creative with the runs because we've seen some games where we were creative with the runs, like the Chargers game where we were creative. The Eagles game, Kerryon didn't have a good game, but it was effective. I don't know how to explain it because he really didn't have a good game numbers wise. So we just have to execute better. I just think the offensive line is not run blocking well. And when I say that, it's because none of the other running backs are doing anything either. So it's it's a common denominator.
I mean, and the crazy part about it for me, I blame the play calling. I blame Darrell Bevell. This idea that we're going to run this power run up the middle, it's not going to work because we don't have like these type of guards. Our guards are Kenny Wiggins, Joe Dow, and Graham Glasgow. Them is not the guards you want to be running up the middle with, okay? They just not the guy. Right. And they're doing it like we got Zach Martin and Quentin Nelson. That's not who we got. We have to be able to do something a little different when it comes to running the ball. Even if that means running an off tackle, running a stretch play, running a toss. Give your guys enough chance to work within space.
Yep.
Okay. And if we can do that, the run game will get going. They have had success when they ran it outside. But the problem is,
and I see Marcus Willis saying we're not gonna run up the middle against Minnesota. You for sure ain't.
No. Liv Joseph and everything.
We gotta fix our run game. You
run
Kerryon Johnson. Remember last time we had Kerryon tried to run up the middle against Minnesota, Stafford got sacked 10 times. So
they broke a franchise record.
Now fudging by the dip says you can blame him for it. That's who you can blame for this run game. I don't know why we blaming you, but if you want to blame for it, somebody got to get it.
Hey,
all right, we got to blame him then. Put the blame on him.
Hey, listen, if you want to crown you, we're going to crown you. But you are who you thought you were, okay? All right? TA. Who do you blame?
Man, I'm telling you, it goes back to what we said before the season started. All of us said something about the offensive line, and coming into the season, I said that the offensive line they're gonna make us or break us. If we're not good in the trenches, man, we're not gonna be able to run that ball, and we're seeing that we're not good in the trenches. We're able to pass protect, but we can't run block. So Kerryon Johnson is finding himself stuck in the backfield and not being able to go nowhere, and then we're not utilizing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I know they cut C.J. Anderson. We know that been happening. But at the same time, you brought J.D. McKenzie, and you're not even giving Ty Johnson a shot. Ty Johnson played pretty well in the preseason, and I have been wondering. I'm not saying that Ty Johnson is going to get the job done just because this offensive line is definitely one of the problems. They can't run block. And I knew this coming into the season that the offensive line was my biggest concern and my biggest worry. And now that you're seeing it, you're looking at it every day, you see that the offensive line is the problem. They are one of the problems, that they can't run block. And Kerryon Johnson, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he'll be able to run the ball this week. You know what I'm saying? Against that Vikings defense. But I hope so.
I will hope so. I hope so.
You got to take into account the play calling, though, because I can't believe I'm about to say the words that I'm about to say. I'm sorry.
Lord Jesus.
But that other guy,
okay,
don't mention his name. That other guy used Kerryon Johnson better. Bevel isn't using him the right way. And the team looked better. The run blocking looked better. You have to get him out in space where you can block, and then you mix in the inside runs with that to keep them off balance. But Bevel was just like, Kerryon, you Marshawn Lynch, run through everybody.
Yeah, he's not a power back.
Do his best Barry Sanders impression and dodge 3 guys for a 2-yard gain. Like, you can't do that.
And I saw a comment that said we need to trade. We need to trade for Schaefer from the Washington. If he's up for trade and he's healthy, I'm down for it. I'm definitely down for that trade. I'm all for it. Schaefer from out of Iowa. I think he played at. He played at Iowa. And he ended up getting drafted by the Redskins. I can't remember his first name. I want to say it's Bo. I feel like it's Bo Schaefer. That's what I feel like it is.
Hey, Luke, and now that we're thinking about the offensive line, I'm thinking that probably where we need to make a trade at this offensive line.
Yeah, I mean,
man, trenches.
I think our defensive line is in worse condition.
Oh man, it's a bad condition.
They are underperforming, man.
No,
now, I love this
really
really quick. I love this. Don Burr says 313 J-Mo. I just said that at work that today Bevel think Marshawn Lynch is here. Yes. You're not finna just punch it in all the way through like that. Mike, talk to the people, man. Who do you blame for this poor run game? Because it's pathetic.
I blame you, Luke G, because you gaslighted me.
I gassed you? Oh, my God.
You know, seriously, man, it's voodoo or what I got to really talk about. It starts with the top, and it always starts with the top down. The personnel with the Lions offensive line is not getting it done when it comes to opening up the holes. Whose issue is that? I got to say, Bob Quinn, we knew this is the offseason. How do you win football games with the trenches? The offensive line was my biggest concern this offseason. Surprisingly, I thought the run would be good and the pass blocking would be bad. It's actually the opposite. So what do we got to do? We got to get individuals in there that can open up those holes. If you want to contend in this league, the only way you win games, the real way you win games, folks, is by running the ball and stopping the run. What is our biggest problem right now in this team? We're running into walls, and the floodgates are open on defensive line because anyone's getting through. How the hell are we going to stop Cook? How are you going to stop these people in this league when your defensive line can't stop nothing? So right now, Bob Quinn, I'm telling you, man, I've been on this when it comes to the defensive line as well as the offensive line. We need to get a guy in there, whether it be via trade. We got to get a mauler on that offensive line, and we got to get a brawler on that defensive line.
Yeah, and it's one of the things where I tell people all the time that running the ball is a mindset. Yeah. It's a mindset. I'll never forget this, man. I was on this one team, man, and I got to go back to high school for this. This is the only one I could think of in terms of an example. But we was playing this team, and this team quarterback was horrible. Like, they was absolutely horrible. So we knew that they was going to come in, they was going to run the ball. Now, they hadn't run the ball against nobody all season, so I kind of took it light. Everybody else took it light. When I say they ran the ball down our throat, they ran it down our throat. They whole attitude was, we going to run it down your throat, ain't nothing y'all can do about it.
Right.
And now, when I look at this team, they still have yet to hit that point where it's a mindset that I just want to run the ball down y'all throat. And to me, we have to get into a mindset that how we start the game is how we should finish. If you start off strong, finish strong. You can't start off strong and then phase out slowly over the course of a game. And we got to be better at that. Which brings me to that same point of this game coming up against the Vikings. Because this is a game that's going to have some significance to it. And my question to you, TA, is this a seasonal make or break game for the Detroit Lions?
Oh, man. Yeah. And the reason why I say yeah is because, when we took that loss, even though our record is not really, really horrible, but when we took that loss, it dropped us down to the to fourth in the division. And if we lose this game, you know what I'm saying, it's just going to put us further down. And then that's when that tie starts coming into effect. Then you start feeling the effects of the tie. And you know what I'm saying, if we're not winning consistent football games, man, that's what's going to be the issue. The consistency of the team being able to get some wins in a row. If you want to be a playoff team, you have to have consecutive victories. You got to get at least 4 or 5 victories in the season. 6, some teams get 6, 7, or 8 victories. And the Lions have to find a way to be able to do that. And if they can't find a way to do that, then Sunday game, if we lose that game, I'm not saying that the season is over, but man, we have really, really dug ourselves a big hole, and we might as well just bury ourselves in the grave because it's going to be definitely tough to get out of it. But I definitely think that the Lions, we kind of did it to ourselves, by not winning that game against Arizona, we should have closed those guys out. And now we put ourselves in this situation where it's a must win for us because we don't want to go down 0-2 in the division. It's not good. And then eventually have the Bears coming up and having to play those guys too as well. So it's tough, man. We put ourselves definitely in a tough predicament and in a tough situation. And I just think that the Lions going to have to come out fighting this game if they don't want to possibly, you know what I'm saying, not make the playoffs. And that's a strong possibility.
Well, I can tell you this much. Marcus Landon believes if we lose this game, the season is over. And I got to be honest, that would give us 2 back-to-back divisional losses with what, 4 games to go. Yeah. It's still a lot of football to play, but to go and lose this game, and that's what, 2, 3, and 1. That's you're talking about having to finish the season out almost perfect. And I don't know if that's the case. But I mean, Mike, make or break. You know what, Mike? Let's take that back. J-Mo, make or break game. Is this a seasonally make or break game for the Detroit Lions against the Vikings?
Well, to me, it depends on what the goal is. If the goal is making the playoffs, then no. But if the goal is winning the division and probably winning the playoff game, then I think this game is very, very important. Because I just look at the schedule. Oakland they are not pushovers, but I think we can beat them. I look at New York and teams like the Redskins, Cowboys at home, the Bears. I think we could split with them. And then I look at the rest of the schedule. Like, none of these teams are absolutely amazing. But you don't want to start, you don't want to start getting used to losing games, like losing the one game in a row, then another game, then that's how you lose another game and another game and another game in a row. So you want to build a winning culture. I think the main thing about this Vikings game is kind of to make a statement, not to the people outside of the division, but to the people in the division, because we haven't won the divisional game yet. I think we need to make a statement to the Bears and the Packers and the Vikings that, after we beat the Vikings, that we coming. We ain't going nowhere. We stand right here, and y'all going to have to worry about us for a while. And I think for the confidence of the team with these last 2 losses that have just been some of the weirdest 2 Lions losses back to back, I think the team need the confidence, they need the boost, and I think we can go on a run. But you got to win a game like this to go on that run. So I think this is a must-win game I think if we win this game, we could win like 4 or 5 games in a row. So you just got to win the first game. First game is the most important.
Now, Chuck Howard says Treadwell called us an easy win, which is I find funny because he was a guy that I said the Lions would go after and take a look at if he was released. He was released like I thought he would be, and the Lions did look at him, and they probably figure, okay, we'll make a little mental profile of you in case we decide to do something. Now, with his little statements there, he probably won't never be a Detroit Lion and probably shouldn't. Now, however, Mike, what do you like when you look at this game against the Vikings? We are at home. Is this a seasonal make or break game for the Detroit Lions?
Before I get to my answer, folks, we have 79 watching. We have 31 thumbs up. We have 2 thumbs down. Let's get those thumbs up so we can beat the legacy mainstream media, and to all the people that's wishing the DSA downfall, to give them a finger up, but not a thumb.
Yeah, it's some people praying for our downfall, and it's okay.
It's okay. All right. But let me talk about how is this a make or break game? In my opinion, a season game type game. Yes, it is. And let's just look at the ramifications simply of just by the NFC standings and such. Yeah. You just got to beat the teams in your own division. Obviously, the Packers, the Chicago Bears, the Vikings. This is at Ford Field. This is not at Minnesota. The best chance to beat this team is at your house. You got to win this game because the next one you play is at Minnesota. You also got to look at, you got to get the wins on these belts, not just for stats, but for yourself. For your soul, for the pride of Detroit, for the pride of your team. You just got slapped in the face by the NFL. You just got destroyed in a game you probably should have won. So how do you respond to that adversity? How do you respond to that blatant disrespect? You want to know how you respond? By you taking your cleat and you put it right up the Vikings A. That's what you do. That's what you do. And you prove it to yourself that you're not a chump team. You prove it out there to the world that even getting screwed on national TV to the whole world's seen it. They said, nah, I make my own destiny. Not the officials, not the league. I do. We are one pride. We are Detroit versus everybody. And I mean everybody. Not just in the world. I'm talking about the Milky Way galaxy. We're Detroit versus everybody.
Facts.
And let's go out there and show your pride, show your strength. Put this city on your back and run it down their throats and get that W, because it is a make or break season. If you want to make the playoffs, if you want to show the world that you're a legitimate team, win now.
Win.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And for me, this game is huge. The thing that I look at is this. If you lose this game, you got the Giants next. You then turn around and you got the Raiders. So you essentially did the second quarter 2-2. Okay. At that point, you would essentially be what? 4-4, 4-1, 4-1. We need to get the wins racked up. And is it 2?
Yeah.
Or 3? I'm sorry. 4-3.
Yeah, 3.
Well, 2 losses not with the Green Bay Packers. I ain't looking at the schedule, but you get my point. We have to be able to genuinely produce. Now, I just look at this game and I say to myself, Green Bay showed me one thing about the Detroit Lions. And what they showed me is the Detroit Lions are going to have a moment of clarity with themselves. And that moment of clarity is going to come with this idea that nobody's handing you anything. Nobody wants to hand you anything. And with that being said, you're going to have to take everything that you want if you want it. But I got to be honest. If the Lions lose this game, are they still a playoff team? What say you, TA?
I already answered it.
That they're a playoff team? Are they still a playoff team?
If they lose okay. If the man, it's hard to say, man. It's definitely hard to say. I want to say yes, but I gotta be real. If we don't do what we gotta do and we don't handle our business, man, we're not gonna make it, man. You know what I'm saying? If we don't get better as a team, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be another season of failure. And I don't want to think like that, and I don't want to have that type of mindset. But if we don't handle our business and start closing out these football games, we've been very competitive, and I really truly like that about the Lions, that they've been very, very competitive in every game. But we gotta win. Winning is the key. Winning is the key to everything. And if we win, we shut the media up and we shut everybody up. But we can't shut them up if we're not winning. And Luke, go ahead.
No, but I was going to say, we also got to keep in mind that, to me, I feel like with this game right here, we lose this game, I'm not sure we make the playoffs. I'm not, because I think what happens is now you got to start looking at tiebreakers, and you already got a tie on your record. So you got a tie on your record, and you don't lose. So if you split with the Packers, you split with the Vikings, you got to sweep the Bears.
Yep, you gotta sweep somebody.
Right, you got to sweep the Bears, and then you got to turn around and pray to God that the Packers take an L to the Chargers and take an L to the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's too many things that got to now start to line up for there to be any type of success, and I think that's a little bit too much. Well, what say you, J-Mo? I mean, they lose the game to the Vikings. Is the playoff hopes dead?
No. The way I think, to me, the game for me is the Oakland Raiders game. That's the game that if we lose, that's when I'll start to be concerned about the season. Because I don't expect us to lose to Minnesota, but I've seen the Lions lose those type of games, but and then start winning again. So it just depends on what goes. Because we had a lot of 9-7 years with that other coach. I ain't gonna even say his name. And a couple of those years we made the playoffs. But my thing is, you got to beat Minnesota. We don't have to worry about making the playoffs. That's just the way because I just think our schedule. I think our schedule is favorable. I don't think any of these teams are rub teams, but I think I always thought the first 8 games was gonna be tougher than the last 8 games. And when I look at the schedule, to me, we would have to lose to the Raiders after losing to the Vikings, because if we lose to the Vikings, then we beat the Raiders, beat the Giants, beat the Bears, beat the Cowboys at home, and then we get the Redskins. Like, then what? So to me, it's the Raiders game. That's the game for me.
All right, what say you, Mike?
Would it matter? Back it into the playoffs? I don't want to see them back into the playoffs. I don't want to see that. How many times have we seen that? They go up to Seattle and get smashed. How do you win in this league? It's through the trenches. Right now, the trenches are ineffective. If I want them in the playoffs, I don't want to back in. I don't want that. I don't want to just make the playoffs. I want to win a playoff game. How do you do that? It's through strength through the trenches. And I don't want to back in. I don't care about backing in the playoffs. I've seen the playoffs and lost. All it does is give me a worse draft spot. All it does is give me hope and say, damn, we didn't do it again. No, I want to see them win in the trenches. You win in the trenches, we ain't backing in the playoffs. We pushing folks out of the playoffs. So I don't care if we lose and we made the playoffs by backing in. That doesn't make me satisfied. That don't make me satisfied. Because guess what? The same aura again would happen with Detroit. Matthew Stafford can't win a playoff game. The LOL Lions. No, that's not what I want to hear. That's not what I want to see.
Right.
So yeah, we could back in, but does it matter to me? Hell no. I want to see strength. I want to see them punch him in the mouth. And I want to see it game in and game out. Bob Quinn, if you feel like that the talent is not on this roster to do so, you best get up and make some phone calls. Because it's
start
time.
trading these players.
It's time. If they ain't effective, make a trade, get somebody that can play for us.
Right. I agree with that.
And you know what, Mike, don't gas the people up. Because what we want to do is this. We want to tell the truth, even though that's what we do anyway. What people don't realize is this. Our standards are not the same for this Lion team. So when we get to talking about the Detroit Lions, we're not giving you those same standards. The stuff that we saw them do in the offseason, we know results in it being a better team. You, the people in the chat, the people who are part of the community, y'all all know that this is a better team. We just got to clean up some stuff. And when you start to realize that, yeah, I got a better team, guess what? All of a sudden now, the standards go up. My expectations go up. And I don't just settle for anything. We have to start to hold them to a different standard. And that standard is put up or shut up.
Facts.
Now, if you look at the screen, you're going to notice that it gives you a quick snapshot of the schedule. And you know we play the Vikings. You know we're going to play the Giants, the Raiders, and the Bears. So you're talking about losing to the Vikings. And if that happens, I doubt it happens, but if that happens, and then in 2 weeks, you get to essentially try to beat a bottom-feeding Giants team, a Raider team who could be a trap game, but then you get another division game.
Right.
The season has to change a little bit. It has to change a little bit. So for me, it has to make enough sense for it to stand out. Now, again, I don't believe that's going to happen. So now the question becomes, and I'll toss this over to you, TA. What improvements must be made by the Lions to beat this Viking team?
It's simple. It's simple and easy to be said. The Lions got to go out. They got to impose their will and be physical, but they also got to do it in the trenches. The trenches is where games are won. That's the reason why we keep talking about it. The trenches is where everything is going to happen at. And I think the improvements, number one, is the run block. The run block gets better, you'll start seeing Kerryon Johnson have 100 yards rushing. If that run block is not better, then you don't have that. You know, you got him carrying the ball 25 times and getting 15 yards. That's not good. That's definitely not good. And we don't want to see that type of productivity from our running back on the field. You know, you're giving a running back that many carries. You want to see him do something with those. So definitely the run block, and also the defensive line getting pressure. I definitely think that that's the keys to the Lions being victorious, because the secondary has been playing lights out. Justin Coleman has definitely been good. I know he got burnt on the play with the guy caught the touchdown pass in the end zone. But other than that, J-Mo. But other than that,
no, it wasn't a touchdown. But even if we
J-Mo, it's over now. It's over now. I can't argue with
you. Yeah, I know. I'm just
saying.
I mean, but
Coleman has been lights out.
Yeah, and I think when you look at this game, the improvement that need to be made is faster starts. I love the play calling early on. It's aggressive. Keep that aggression for 4 quarters.
Facts. That's a fact.
4 quarters.
I don't even think it's that complicated. To me, it's one simple thing that could make our team like the way I've been looking at our team the last 5 or 6 games. We could be a Super Bowl contending team if we had one thing. Pass rush.
Thanks.
Yep.
If we had a pass rush that whole game, whether we had 13 points or not, Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have been able to do anything. Like, really, we didn't have a pass rush, and they still struggled in that game.
Right, but I think the point that
you're playing so well.
I think the point that you're getting at, J-Mo, it's the same thing that many of us are pointing out. That at some point the coaching has to do certain things. They blitzed 3 times to my count. I remember 3 blitzes. I remember all 3 getting home enough to disrupt what they was doing. We got to do that more often.
Well,
we don't blitz a lot. We do need to blitz more.
And another time we blitzed and Aaron Jones dropped a touchdown. So, yeah.
But Mike,
I definitely wanted him to blitz more, but I just think if we get pressured, that will fix every problem with the team, because our secondary is the best unit on the football.
Now, Mike, let me ask you this, man, because I know that me and you got high standards. We and I know J-Mo got high standards, but what improvements? We coming off a short week. What improvements need to be made to win this game on Sunday?
Folks, before I get into the improvements, we've been rocking with you for a long time now. We are all one pride. We are all DSA. Please do us a favor. Hit that like button. If you are one pride and you are ready to ride, hit that like button and show us. Maybe this video will get out to some of those players on the team. Maybe they will get fired up. And that would be great. If they see it, maybe it will just be a little bit of motivation for what they've been dealing with for a little bit. Now, when it comes to how to win, when it comes to what it takes, I played wide receiver, okay? So I was a skinny guy who could run like Forrest Gump. So I'm not, usually you'd think I'd say, oh, it's all about the wide receivers. It's all about the flash play. Nope, not for me. It's about the trenches. I want this trenches to be ferocious. That's how you win in this league. You could have all the great players, all the wide receivers, the Odell Beckhams. You can have the Megatrons. You can have this, that, and the other. But if you don't have the Sues, if you don't have the Donalds, you don't have people rushing the passer, scaring the hell out of quarterbacks, knocking them down, you ain't going to win in this league. There is a lot of high-speed quarterbacks, and if you let them sit in a pocket for 7, 10 seconds, even the crappy ones will pick you apart.
And that's
even the bad ones will. Now you're going to be going against, if you make the playoffs, in which they better do, if you're going against the Aaron Rodgers, the Drew Breeses, if you're going against the Mahomes like we already seen, and all the elite quarterbacks in this league, what do you need? You need pass rush now. You need it now. You can't let them sit in the pocket. So if they want to win, if they want to do it now, they need to get rushing the quarterback time now. No ifs, ands, or buts. You get after the quarterback. You protect the quarterback, and you run through those defensive lines.
Yep.
And that's what I want to see. That's how you win. Again, Bob Quinn, I'm making a statement, and I hope you hear it because I talked to you before. I had a nice conversation with you, and I was very nice when I spoke to you. I was very proud, and it was nice. But if you ever hear this, if any player hears this, get the players via trade. If you don't believe we got that time now, if you don't think Deshaun Hand is going to be available to do so in that pass rush because we have seen him. If you think Mike Daniels cannot get to that level, get a Chandler Jones, get a Von Miller, get someone there that will take the quarterback down and put fear of death in their eyes.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, man, talk to him.
Hey, preach, Mike.
I'm fired up.
Talk to him.
I'm fired up because I know what the potential this team can be. I know what the potential of the DSA can be. I've been with you guys. This ain't no cult. This ain't no cult. This is a family. This is a family. I just found Ray Jim K as a soldier like I was. Love it, man. All you people in the chat, we may have disagreements here. We may agree on some things. We may don't. We may have completely different odds. But guess what? You are my family. You are one pride. You ride. You've been through the hell and back as a fan base. We all have. We have seen miserable times, and it's time to see positive times.
Right.
Let's get it.
Yeah, hey, absolutely. And I got to be honest. You know, those simple improvements you talk about is exactly it. It's time for you to get out of the mindset that we're getting the referees are going against us. Well, choke them out early.
Yep.
Choke them out early. You know what happened to me when I was a kid? I'm gonna give y'all a quick story. When I was a kid, man, I was walking to school one day, and if you lived in Detroit anywhere in the 90s, you would know that no matter where you went, they had a huge problem with stray dogs. I mean, it was a pack of them. And I'm walking to school one day, and I saw the pack of dogs in the field. So I'm trying to tiptoe past the dogs. Now, don't laugh at me. I'm scared. I'm young. I'm so scared that when one of the dogs look at me, I fart. Now, don't judge me. Don't judge me. I'm just telling you what happened. When I fart, all these dogs started chasing me, right? And I take off running. So this one dog, just this one dog, it just seemed like he refused to stop running. I don't care what I did. I jump on the car. He keeps running. I go and run around the swing. He keeps running. Finally, I say, I'm going to have to fight the dog. Now, I'm sitting up with the dog. I'm choking the dog, okay? And I'm choking the crap out this dog. I'm trying to fight for dear life with this dog so he don't bite me. All I got is his neck. He's snapping like an alligator off the leash. It's terrible. Okay? Now, here's my point that I'm trying to make. As I'm sitting up here choking the dog, at some point, I decide that if I let the dog go, I can get up and run. Boy, was I wrong. Rather than continue to choke the dog out, I let the dog go. And you know what he does? He swiftly turns around and bite my ass. Literally.
Woo! Woo!
And guess what I realized?
He thought it was a steak.
Yeah, he thought it was a steak. I realized at that very moment. I realized at this very moment. Burner account says, poor dog. Okay.
You just gave that dog some PTSD, man.
But I learned at that very moment. I learned at that very moment that if I had to just finish the job, I probably don't get bit. And that's where we are at with the Detroit Lions.
Okay, wow. Now the story time is over.
Right, I'm just saying, man. So I mean, so the Lions got to have that same mentality.
I'm gonna keep it to football. We just need a pass rush.
Yeah,
we definitely need to trade for a pass rusher, though.
like, hey, I'm with Mike, man. Trey, if these guys don't want to get it done, get somebody in here that do want to get it done.
Now listen,
we need a pass rush, man.
They need to put some pink slips in all these lockers and say, "Hey, time to get it done. Get up out the way."
Now, Marcus Landon says, "Was it a pit bull?" No, thank God it wasn't. It was like a mutt, man. It was a mutt. Okay. It was a mutt, man. It was mixed with some of everything, man. I'm pretty sure they would probably run a game bang before I interrupted. You know,
seems like all mutts turn around.
Man, it was rough. But I'm just telling you, we have to be able to know when to finish the job, man. And sometimes finishing the job solves everything. The Lions have to start to get that attitude that I don't care if it's the beginning. I don't care if they call it Bush League. Run the score up on them. Run it up on them. And then that way. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to say one thing. People are asking about the pass rush, and basically they're saying we haven't had our full amount of healthy guys. Well, the reason why we want to get a pass rusher because it's football. We're not going to have the full squad. It's probably for only a 2 or 3 game span. So that's why we need to add more pass rushers. So when we don't have the full squad, we have other
Fact.
guys that can rush the passes.
Yep. And that's true.
Now, Marcus Land said, "Yeah, you lucky. He would have shook you up like Barry Sanders." Man, listen. First of all,
he thought that was a piece of hamburger back there.
Man, listen. Thank God, he released. But I prefer Japanese Akitas. I like Akitas. That's my dog of choice. But hey, you ain't lying about that. Now, Blue and Silver made a comment earlier, and I saw it, and he asked the question of why don't we just move Frank Ragnow back to guard and Graham Glasgow to center? Well, one of the reasons you don't do that is because Graham Glasgow was not calling out the right assignments to the line. And that's why you saw a lot of breakdown in pass coverage. With Frank Ragnow, he's calling out the right alignments and getting them in place. We just don't have the guards to get the push. But I do like the idea that you have. I just think it still puts our offense at a disadvantage. But it is out of the box thinking, and I think that's where you want to be at. So let me kind of move it a little bit along. J-Mo, man, we got some people out here hurt, man. What player do you want to see on the field versus the Vikings that's hurt right now?
And it's a lot of players hurting, but I got.
But listen, here I make it easier for you. Let's say that it's not even a player that's hurt. What player you just want to see on the field more? Period on the team, whether they hurt or not.
Oh, do I want to see on the field more? Period. I mean, Ty Johnson. I can't believe I'm saying it because I've been the lowest on his stock, but he should be on the field way more than J.D. McKissick. I don't want J.D. McKissick
He's not
running
getting
the
no
football.
clock.
I don't want J.D. McKissick doing nothing but end around. Like, get that man off the field. I definitely want to see Ty Johnson, and I definitely want to see Deshaun Hand because it's starting to feel like he's our best pass rusher when it comes from a defensive lineman, not like a Trey Flowers edge rusher type. But we really need to get some push, and Snacks and Ashawn Robinson are getting really tired.
Yeah, they are. They're doing a lot.
Deshaun Hand, and I know the expectation is high for him. He ain't played in like 8 weeks. What can we really expect? But we expected him to get in the game and be a beast. But that's how it is with the NFL and our fans. But Ty Johnson, get that man on the field, and I want to see more of Jesse James in the passing game. Like, where?
Yeah, they're not even utilizing. Yeah, we're not. He got all that money, man. They're not even utilizing him.
Right, man. Jesse James looking like a bust. Meanwhile, Justin Coleman looking like a Pro Bowler.
Right.
And I'm not even ready to even call him a bust as much as we're just not utilizing.
We just not utilizing him.
I just said, he's looking like he ain't there yet, but like he ain't doing that.
And it's kind of crazy because I was listening to something earlier, guys, with a New Orleans Saints guy. He was talking about Zach Zenner, and he was very, very happy that they got Zach Zenner. And I was just listening to this guy, and he was like, "Yeah, we got Zach Zenner. Detroit Lions didn't know how to utilize this guy right." And I had to think about it when he said that. I was like, "Man, Zenner, when he was in the goal line, he was getting in the end zone."
Yeah, but he ran straight. He didn't do nothing no different than carry on. We didn't get no push this time around.
Right.
No, we didn't misuse Zach Zenner. Zach Zenner has always been productive. That's like we use him correctly.
Yeah. He been a corrective piece for us. But
so it's my bad, T. My apologies for interrupting you. Lamar Horton says, "How can I get on the podcast starting a YouTube?" Simple. You click on the description of this video or any video on my channel. You will see my Discord and my Twitter. You simply send me a message. I would then talk to you via those ways and probably send you a telephone number. We have a conversation and we set it up and you on the show. Just that simple. So go in there and just send me a message and say, "Hey, this is Lamar Horton," and whatever the case may be, and we'll get you on this show. I mean, and that goes for anybody. Y'all know.
We'll talk to anybody.
Yeah, y'all know we'll talk to anybody. I mean, we got Rage MK. He's a Green Bay Packer fan. He's been on the show and he comes on quite often and he's in the chat. I'm pretty sure, waiting to pounce on us and talk crazy to me. I'm pretty sure he gonna hit me up on Discord where I'm gonna keep talking crap. I know you is, but in the meantime, I got Mr. George Morgan to put you on timeout. so but that's all you got to do, man. Just go in there, reach out, and we'll set something up. But go ahead, Tia. My apologies if you remember what you were saying.
Yeah, just saying, you know what I'm saying, when Zach Zenner, you know, I'm just saying like the things that he did do well that you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Kerryon Johnson is not a great running back for us because he is, but I knew that something that what's the name did well, Zenner did well is get into the end zone when he was in red zone situations.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I
true.
mean,
That's true.
right. And plus the play calling has to be in such a way where we can attack the other team with all our weapons. We're
Yeah.
just like right now we have a chance to build a house and we can use every tool needed for a house. And rather than
Yep.
use that, we're going to use mashed potatoes and meatloaf, knowing that that's not going to get us a brick laid. You know, we have to be able to change the way we go about doing it and attacking and different things like that. And to me, that's how you do it. Now, the one player I want to see on the field more than anybody, and I know it's Austin Bryant. Because while we're searching for a pass rush, Austin Bryant is the guy that I
Right.
think can get us that pass rush. And one Mr.
I agree
Khan,
with you completely.
hit me up and he said, "Hey, they took him off the list so he can start practicing now." And I said, "Say what? Say what? Say what?" 'Cause I
Yeah,
missed that update.
we may need him out there.
So he can start practicing, and that's a good sign because if we can get him back, I know for a fact that first of all, you got to keep in mind, when he played next to some other people, the dog was released. You see what I'm saying? And I believe that him and Hand coming back will be more of our pass rush that we need, and you can mix in Daniels at the D tackle spot, so now you can give Snacks a chance to get a breather. Snacks is now being overly used, and
Yeah.
that's why he's not effective.
And
He's
it's
on the
tiring him
field
out
too
because
much.
he's out there too long.
He's out there too much. So, you know, we got to do that. We also got to find ways to get back to blitzing. This is not me making this up. This is not me trying to gas you up. This is not me trying to do anything other than tell you the facts. We are the least blitzing team in the NFL.
That's
And
true.
we're doing it. We're doing it while only rushing 3 majority of the time. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable.
Yeah, we should be
You know
blitzing
what's
more.
funny? It's completely unacceptable, and I'm not going to absolve Matt Patricia from that. To me, he needs to blitz way more. But it's funny because he's playing to the strengths of the team. Because when you have a secondary like ours, like I said, he still needs to blitz more. I'm not going to forgive him for that. But when you have a secondary like ours, you can rush 3. And just be like, all right, let's see what you do, Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. Nothing. So, and when you add on our pass rush that we should be getting on top of that, it should work. But we definitely shouldn't be the least team in blitzes. But I do think he's playing to our strength.
Absolutely. I mean, Mike, talk to me, man. Who do you want to see on the field the most?
Man, I want to see, obviously, Deshaun Hand. We haven't seen him yet. And this defensive line is underperformed. I want to see if he gets on the field, if it really helps out. Maybe that could be the reason. I doubt it. I think it's still the defensive line is underperforming when it comes to Flowers, when it comes to Snacks Harrison, all the boys. But I want to see if Deshaun Hand can elevate that line and maybe get better than what it was last year. Just a little bit better. Because, again, right now the defensive line has been playing so damn poor that it feels like anyone can run through. And when you got a Cook coming our way, what's the number one thing the Vikings do? They run, and they got a good one. And so I want to see Deshaun Hand in there and get up in there and stop that run, get after the pass. And, that's the way it is, man. That's the way it is. And look, I said I was going to be on fire today. I said Sergeant Micro coming out because I've been doing this stuff for 6 months now, putting in all this time and effort. And I want to see this team take that time and effort and get up in there.
Yeah.
Murdoch says that they are mocking me for not listening. Hey, we already know former players are listening to this. So it is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
It is what it is. And all it takes is one person to see it. We already know that former Lions players are listening to it and loving what we're doing. And so if it just that little bit will help out, that would be great. Talk about surgery. I've had many surgeries. So I know what pain feels like. I want to see Deshaun Hand in there. If he can finally get in there and wreak a little bit of havoc, we have a better chance of winning. better chance of winning. It may be slow because, again, he is coming back from injury and he hasn't played in a while, but I want to see what he can do. I spoke to him. I said, "You going to the Pro Bowl?" He looked at me dead in the face. He says, "Damn straight I am." And he's probably not to now because he's been on the field, but I want to see that fire in him like he did when I had that convo with him.
And I think what Daniel Griffin pointed out was can we see somebody do a spin move for once? A swim move, a rip, something. I chewed out a player during the draft process, actually two of them, because they didn't have pass rush moves. And I'm watching the games, and I'm like, you're not gonna be able to run around everybody. You're not gonna be able to bull rush everybody. But they don't even attempt to do those things, and it's a problem.
I got a problem with Matt Patricia right now because I've just been thinking about it. Why isn't he blitzing? Because it wasn't when we had him last year. He blitzed a lot. Devin Kennard got home. Jared Davis got home. Why is he all of a sudden not blitzing? Like, you blitz Jared Davis one time, he gets, we get cooked for a 30-yard pass. Other time, we make Aaron Rodgers throw the ball away. Like, I'm not. And then when Jelani Tavai went on that blitz, he had such a great impact. And then you saw that he started blitzing or sending Jelani Tavai more throughout the game. But if our blitzing comes from the linebackers, why aren't you doing it more, especially when our secondary is so good? Now, not having Quandre Diggs might have changed some things, but if he comes back, there isn't any excuse for him not to blitz. Especially with our we have a secondary that can let you blitz.
Well, I mean, it is one of those things that we definitely got to address. So I know the game has started, so we're gonna just do this. We're gonna get to this part where you guys can ask us any questions for a few minutes. Any questions you want to ask, we're going to answer it. You can target it to just me. You can target it to just J-Mo, Mike, or TA. Whatever you want to ask, we are going to answer the question. So shoot those questions off, man. It's crazy because I just want to say this to y'all, man. I truly appreciate y'all coming in here rocking with us.
We appreciate you guys
and taking that time out to rock with us. Because this community is doing nothing more than getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I've never asked y'all for anything. I don't attempt to ask for anything because I just enjoy talking football with y'all, even when y'all think I'm crazy. But I will ask y'all this. There is no greater advertisement than word of mouth. And when I see most of you guys on that YouTube channels for the Lions and CBS and all those other ones, put it out there, man. Y'all want to hear some football about the Lions? Go over to the DSA. Go check out the RoundTable. Check out Lou G. Check out Noble Sports Entertainment. Check out 313 J-Mo. Check out Micro Mike. Check out Positivity Detroit. Check out The Big Tape. Check out CA3 Sports Talk. Check out Detroit Drew.
Yeah.
Check out Norman's J.
It's not easy.
Put that word of mouth out there because this community is big. And it's a really good community. But we can get bigger. Because the bigger we get, that means that as one, the voice gets bigger. And when the voice get bigger, everything else get bigger. Everything else get bigger. It's a reason why they introduced the Big Mac because people got tired of those little cheeseburgers. It's a reason why they introduced the Whopper. People got tired of the little burgers. This is the reason why they do this. When things get bigger, everything gets bigger. And the best thing you can do is put word of mouth out there, hit that like button, and hit that subscribe button, man. You can do that for us and move the community further.
Yep, it's all about you guys. Without you guys, there's no us.
Right, we're not doing this without y'all. We're not doing this without y'all.
Drews, without the Antoines Uhai, Lions Lee, all y'all, man. Without you guys, we're nothing. It's a grassroots movement. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing anything. We wouldn't be making changes, hopefully for the better against these legacy media, against other people that hating on us. It's you, man. You're here every week spending your time with us. It's absolutely humbling. We love it, man.
And let me give a few special shout outs, man. The General View, man, I want to give you a special shout out because I know, man, y'all may not see it, but he be in the Discord and he keeps conversations lit. Let me give a shout out to Lions Lee. You see him on the screen? Lions Lee helped me set that Discord up because I have no clue how technology works. Even though there was contrary to that belief with other rumors, that man right there is the reason Discord is up and why we have a way to interact with you guys and talk to you. So I truly appreciate you, gentlemen. Melvin Drew, Mellow Mo, all the guys who are in the system, those people.
Mr. Khan, burner account.
Mr. Khan, all you guys who come up and you show up for the community. Mm-hmm. This is what the DSA
and
is.
Folks, if you have a special skill set that can help the DSA with technology or insight with marketing, social media, any ideas, send it our way because you are DSA. It's not just us, it's you guys. And the better information we get, better ideas, the better product you will also get. So if you got skills and you say, man, I don't want to make YouTube, but I want to help you guys out, hit us up. Hit us up.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And even Adam plays football right now. And I worked on a video for Adam. Believe it or not, I tried to post it. I got flagged, so I got to figure out a workaround. Apparently, I can't use his content. So, Adam, you're going to be getting a message from me real soon. But if you for some reason, you got a little bitty son who plays football, maybe you got a daughter who looks like the second coming of Barry Sanders. Maybe it's your video. Yep. Send it to me. I'm going to put you on here and promote you. It's going to be my Detroit spotlight. So if you play football and you want me to do a Detroit spotlight with your video, I'll do a little short video where I'm going to do film study on your video. Now, yes, I'm going to be critiquing you. I'm not going to make you look bad, but I'm sorry, not going to lie to you. Okay? Don't send me no footage with you falling all over the place and getting flags for being asleep on the field. But I just wanted y'all to know we really appreciate what y'all do for this community and everything. Now, Joe be doing work PS4.
PS4.
Okay. He says, I don't think it's our pass rush that stinks. I think it's because we are not playing to their strengths. We are only sending 3 almost every time. So I would assume it's coaching and making the calls. Yeah, that's exactly, man.
Yeah, that plays a part.
First of all, Joe be doing work. I am on PS4. If that's your username, please put a tag in there so I can know. I will hit you up if you play Madden or you play Ghost Recon. I do play games. I will play with you because I need somebody to help me in Ghost Recon right now. I'm stuck. I'm stuck
on the board.
Yeah, I'm stuck. So I need a little help. But also, thanks for joining the show. Final thoughts. Let's go with you, J-Mo. What you got for the final thoughts?
Mm-hmm. You would do that when I'm on mute. As y'all
hey, my bad, man. I'm sorry.
My final thoughts is I think the Vikings are in for a little bit of trouble. I'm not sleeping on them. I do think they're still a good football team roster-wise.
Okay.
And we just got to stop Dalvin Cook. You stop Dalvin Cook, you win, especially with our secondary. But to me, I just think this Lions team is very angry. And I think we're going to put so much into winning this game that I don't know what's going to happen to the Vikings, but I just have a bad, eerie feeling that something's bad on they going to get shellacked as a word. Regardless of that, I just feel like we got to really win this game, and the Lions are about to make a statement after being denied, a couple weeks in a row where we shouldn't have been denied. I think we about to make a little mini statement when nobody's paying attention. We playing over in Ford Field. No one cares. And then Minnesota loses. So I got us winning this game. And I think once we win this game, we're going to win a streak. Now, if the Lions don't win this game, as I said, I won't panic unless we lose to Oakland. Then I'll be like, okay, it's a wrap. But that's all I got, man. If you like some basketball videos, make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out Above the Rim on Detroit Drew's channel. And, hey, man, keep winning.
Now, George Morgan says, appreciate the shout out. That's the first time he put anybody on timeout. So that's like that was his warning shot to you, Rage. He gave you his warning shot. He let you know that's where he got the line at.
He got more for you.
yeah, put that boy in timeout quick. Like, oh, you gonna come in here and talk crazy? You know what we just went through. You ain't finna sit here and be giving trauma out. I feel him. Final thoughts, TA.
Man, what another great show. Awesome show with my brothers. Definitely, man, we appreciate each and every one of you guys. Without you guys, man, there's no DSA. It's none of that, because we're not DSA by ourselves. It's DSA the community, and it's always been that way, and it always will be that way.
That's right.
Definitely, guys. Make sure you subscribe to each and every guy that's on the channel. You have Noble Sports Entertainment. You have also Micro Mike, Luke G's Field Review, and 313 JMO, and the rest of the DSA guys. Make sure you guys subscribe. We appreciate you guys. All the love coming. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys be working. Some of you guys are working, listening to us. Some of you guys are in your at home washing dishes. Some people are playing PlayStation. Some people are talking to their girlfriends. All kind of stuff is going on, but we appreciate you guys. So make sure you guys tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend that DSA is here, and come and get with us. And definitely, if you're a subscriber and you want to come on to the show, definitely you can hit us up, Luke G. You can hit myself up, Micro Mike, or 313 JMO, and definitely we'll have you on the show, and we'll talk some Lions football with you.
Yeah, and I know Joe be doing work. He says, add me. I'm going to add you to my I'll send you when I'm done with this, I'll send you a request. And we'll get you on, man. We'll get you on. Mars, I'll be sending you one as well. The least expected, man. Shout out and appreciate the support. Dwayne, I love this message right here. He said, yo, it's your time. Let's play your part. Swipe down, hit the thumbs up, got that ball, and become a part of the movement, man. Absolutely. Become a part of the movement, man. Micro Mike, man, final thoughts.
Look, again, I always say this every time we do it. It's very humbling that you guys take your time out of your day to listen to us. And DSA is a family. We are one pride. Like I said before, we may agree, we may disagree, we may be on fire, we may be very soft. That's the personality of the time, because we're all fans. We want to see one thing: Lions win. Lions do better and take it to that next level. Also, I came up with a great idea by myself. Folks, I'm going to be doing a pilot of a Detroit Lions show every single day for a half an hour, Monday through Friday, so you can get your fix in when it comes to Lions news. I want to see how well it does. So next week, starting Monday through Friday, I'm going to have a show every single day. I have not picked the time yet. I will maybe post a vote to see who could be on there and to get more value out of it. But the idea is simply this: Lions news, daily information, possible trades, everything. And when we go to the off season, it'll get more and more. But awesome that this is going to take place. So make sure you join me live next week when I start it. It will be straight awesome. As well as, look, we need to get this idea out to all the fans at Ford Field and get that crowd raucous and going nuts. When it comes to merchandise as well, I am making some ideas up and concepts so we all can rock with the DSA and represent what we are. With that said, folks, adios.
Yeah, man. Listen, that's awesome, man. You know, like I said again, you are appreciated. You know, and I don't think y'all get it. And I like to try to end the show on positive notes. All things, and I do mean all things, are difficult before they are easy. Make every day count. All right. The secret of getting ahead is just getting started. Whenever you go out and go out with all of your heart. Waste no time in believing in yourself. Cast away all doubters. Just cancel out all the noise. Those who seek to destroy you will fail within their own attempts, because you are already walking in greatness. If you remember those wise words, then you can never, ever be broken, and you can never, ever be set back. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you subscribe to the DSA, and please do your research. We're out.